Born on August 7, 1955 in Phoenix, Arizona, Elizabeth Diane Downs, née Fredrickson, appeared to have had a normal childhood. Behind closed doors, however, she was abused by her father, Wesley Linden, from the age of 12, even though he and her mother, Wilda Dean, considered themselves staunch conservatives. As a freshman at Moon Valley High School, Downs dressed as a grown woman of the 1960s and dated older boys. One of them is Stephen Downs, with whom she becomes inseparable as the pair roam the streets of Phoenix in search of fun. The two graduated together, but separated briefly when Diane Downs enrolled at Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College in Orange, California, and Steve enlisted in the United States Navy, but Downs would eventually be expelled after a year for his promiscuous behavior. Reunited in Arizona, the two married on November 13, 1973. However, almost immediately, their relationship began to experience personal trouble. The couple often argued about finances and were accused of being unfaithful. It was in this environment that Christy, Cheryl Lynn, and Stephen Daniel, Danny, were born in 1974, 1976, and 1979, respectively. By the time Danny was born, arguments about infidelity had become so intense that Steve believed that Danny was not his biological son at all, but the product of an affair, unable to reconcile. The couple divorced in 1980. The 25-year-old divorcee tried to become a surrogate mother, but twice failed psychiatric tests. Diane Downs increasingly neglected her children. She often leaves them with her parents or ex-husband without notice, seemingly unconcerned with the feelings of other men. Her children often look unkempt and appear malnourished. Downs regularly left Christy in charge of his two remaining children when she was just 6 years old. However, in 1981, she met Robert Knickerbocker and embarked on an affair that kept her out of trouble. For Knickerbocker, who is married, Diane Downs' children equate to too many conditions. He told Downs he was not interested in being a dad and ended the affair. Over the course of 2 years, she would try to kill his children in hopes of regaining his affection. On the night of May 19, 1983, Diane Downs walked into the emergency room in Springfield, Oregon. Her 3 children, Christy, 8, Cheryl, 7, and Danny, 3, sat in the back seat covered in blood. They were shot at close range. Paramedics declared Cheryl dead at the scene and took the other 2 people to hospital with life-threatening injuries. When asked about what happened, Downs explained the story of a man who flagged her down on the side of the dirt road while her 3 children were sleeping in the back seat. After escaping, she ran to the emergency room. While struggling with the furry man, she was also shot in the left arm, but her life was not in danger. While his children were still hospitalized, Downs began giving interviews to the media, telling strange stories and explaining his innocence. The description of her taking the children to see it in the dark while they were sleeping doesn't seem to make much sense. Police began investigating Downs. They were able to find her secret diaries explaining her affair with a married man. The man she was dating didn't want children, which made her see them as a burden. Although the stroke impaired Christy's ability to speak, she was able to begin telling police what she remembered about that night. Her story did not involve seeing a man with shaggy hair. This led police to arrest Downs in February 1984, and the trial began that May. However, Downs had a plan to win over the jury. Just 3 years into her sentence, Downs escaped from the Oregon prison where she was being held. 2 weeks later, she was discovered a few blocks from the prison, at another inmate's husband's house. She remains detained today in California at a higher security facility. In 2008 and 2010, she was denied parole and had to wait a decade before reapplying.